Well, hello everybody. It is the 3rd of July. It's getting on for midday local time. It's been a while. I don't seem to make a lot of videos, but I'll still persist in making them. This is just the opinion, if you like. That's all it is. This is the opinion of one guy. Who could be anybody. Just one guy's opinion. I've got access, like most of you probably, to internet. I've got satellite TV, so legally I might add, I actually pay Sky for all of their content. Maybe I'm a sucker, I don't know. But I have to pay my ISP as well, and maybe I'm a sucker for that. But I've got to pay for my internet connection. Which gives me access to YouTube, BitChute and all the rest of it. But today's little homily is basically it's about COVID and lockdown. Just my take on it. It's just coming from me. I've been exposed to the same news channels. I subscribe to probably half a dozen newspapers. I certainly subscribe to The Guardian, The Telegraph, The Times, The New York Times, The Washington Post. That's at least what I subscribe to. I have access to all of these people. So the same as you, but also, you know, I could jump onto YouTube or BitChute or anywhere else and get the host of opinions on a host of subjects. Information outload. There used to be a guy called Alvin Toffler who wrote a book called Future Shock. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of him. Alvin Toffler, I think his name was. Future Shock, and you know, because things are so I think his major thesis was future shock, which is what we're all in at the moment because the situation is changing so fast. Nobody has really time to catch up with it, and Alvin Toffler called it future shock. Then I think we're all suffering from it. You know, everybody gets geared up for June the 21st, and then bang, talk about cancel culture, and then June the 21st gets cancelled, and now we've got the 19th of July. Will that get cancelled? You know, we all look forward, not you, we. I am part of you, you are part of me, we. Or anyway, speaking strictly for myself, I want COVID to be ended and I want lockdown to be ended. Let us be absolutely clear about that. There is no doubt in my mind, well, you know, there might be some good coming out of this. I can't see any good coming out of this. I want lockdown ended and I want COVID ended. That is my position. So that's that. Basically, I hope we're all clear on that, 100%. Now, what I wanted to talk about, which nobody seems to be talking about, not even in your religious organisations, not your Muslims, not your Christians, not your Jews, that I've come across. Now, I can't make blanket statements anymore, you know, because there may be a load of Muslims out there who have tackled COVID-19 from the perspective of the Quran, or there may be a load of Christians out there who've tackled COVID-19 from the perspective of the Bible, or, you know, the Old and the New Testaments, or there may be a load of Jews out there who tackled it from the perspective of the Old Testament, and so on and so forth. But I ain't come across it, and I've certainly not come across it on what is called either the mainstream or the lamestream media. Right? So let's have a look at what's actually on offer here in terms of world views. If you're a hardcore atheist, then surely the whole universe is just a result of random chance. That's all that's going on here. The universe, well, it's not even pitiless, because the pity is a value judgment. Pity is some kind of an emotional state. Pity is some kind of value. And the universe, if it is indeed a random universe, then Even pity doesn't come into it. It is, the universe is blind and indifferent. And to expect anything from a blind and indifferent universe, to me, is just not logical. It's not a reasonable position to take, if indeed this place is just pure random chance. Then so what, you're going to die an agonising death? Who cares? Nobody. It's just a matter of complete and utter and total indifference. And really, the atheist should live up to his, or her position. If people are going to criticise people of faith, they're fine. Criticise people of faith, but then let us return the favour. The atheist should live up to his perspective. There is no morality. If a child dies, who cares? In a blind, indifferent, random chance universe, who cares? Live up to your beliefs, who cares? If your grandma dies of COVID, who cares? You're an atheist. Face your beliefs. We live in an indifferent, meaningless universe. One person's birth, one person's death, it's a matter of complete and total and utter indifference. The acute suffering of another human being, if you take atheism to its logical extreme, it is a matter of total indifference. I hope I've made my point. I would welcome any challenges, but I can't see where you get any morality, any care out of an atheistic worldview. Because at the end of the day, who cares? It's blind chance. Grandma dies, well, so what? So that's the atheistic worldview. If you're an atheist, I would welcome any criticism of this, but I can't see where you can get any values from. Sacredness of human life and all the rest of it. Well, you can't use terms like that. You're an atheist. Be a man, man up, grow a pair, and face, and live up to your beliefs. So that's the atheist. So if something called COVID's going on, so what? Who cares? It's just blind indifference. On the other hand, if you accept some kind of creator, we're not going into the various subdivisions of creator, which creator, is it the Muslim creator, the Christian creator, the Jewish creator, the Hindu creator, if there's a creator in Buddhism, the Buddhist creator, and so on and so forth. They're just going, the other end of the spectrum, so to speak, is the God. Well, for you, there is a creator out there. That changes everything. There is a creator. But then, which creator? If you accept the Christian creator, then it is alleged that the Christian creator is a God of love. And then you've got an issue then with suffering, for example, COVID. If grandma dies, it is a tragedy. If your wife dies and your children die, it is an absolute tragedy. Deserving of great sympathy, great empathy, great care. The Christian worldview, different. It's completely different. But even then, you've still got to explain suffering. Because it's certainly from the Christian perspective, if the Christians are going around saying that God is a God of love and compassion and care, then look what's going on just with COVID, let alone all the wars and natural disasters and everything else that's going on all the time, that's never ceased. Well, then that's a different subject. That's the issue of something called theodicy. And every religion has this problem, if Christianity claims to be, says there's a God of love out there, then how does Christianity square this God of love, who is infinite in mercy, love and compassion, with, the dreadful suffering of, say, Auschwitz? How do you square that circle? I don't know. That's an argument for another day. And the same with the Muslims. I don't really know too much about the Muslim faith, but I'm not a Muslim. I've looked into the Quran, but not deeply. So I don't know what their theodicy is. The same with the Jews. the Hindus, the Buddhists and so on. But the Buddhists, to their credit, at least my understanding of Buddhism is that, Four Noble Truths. And I think noble truth number one is all life is suffering. They're right in there, straight to the point. Suffering, mate. We're still not suffering that bad in comparison to some, but COVID-19 is not really a stroll in the park. Anyway, so I don't know if I'm making myself clear, but so you've got your atheists, and then you've got your deists, for want of a different, for want of a better way of putting it. Now, and on this goes. All I'm saying is nobody's making it clear. You can go and turn on Sky News or even go into an internet channel, and nobody is talking about the spirit. No, very few people seem to be talking about the spiritual dimension to this problem of COVID-19. And very, very few people are talking about the power of words. Now, certainly for the atheist, words are just sonic vibrations in the air. That's all they are. Words, just it's just a waveform on some oscilloscope somewhere. That's all a word is. With this speech that I'm making here now, it's just sonic vibrations that are getting picked up by the microphone. Going. The sound is bouncing against the diaphragm in the microphone, and getting translated into digital bits. That's what's going on. That's all they are. It's just another signalling method. It doesn't matter whether it's sonic vibrations or signals down a wire or even signals down a laser beam. It doesn't matter. It's just signalling. That's it. It's just signalling. There's nothing more going on. And that's that. But if you take a spiritual perspective, which very, very few people do, then certainly from a Christian perspective, which is the perspective of which I am the most familiar, is that words are actually very important. And words have power, according to the Bible. Now, again, this is a clash of worldviews, because if you're an atheist, the Bible's just, if nothing else, it's just historic literature. There's nothing further going on. There's nothing going on. It's just ancient literature like Homer's Odyssey or the Homer's Iliad or the Bhagavad Gita. It's just ancient literature from a bygone age where people were naive and they didn't know how the universe really runs. The universe runs by scientific principles. There are no gods. But from the age of faith, and that's the issue, because people still believe today. And certainly the Christian faith, I cannot really speak for other faiths, but certainly from the Christian perspective, or my understanding, let's put it that way, my understanding of the Christian perspective is that words are very, very important. Especially words coming from leaders. But all words, ultimately, even my words, are important. Now, if you've got the vast majority of the planet, you see, if there is no God, it doesn't matter what you say. They're just meaningless vibrations in a meaningless universe. And it doesn't matter. Words have no power to influence anything and don't change nothing. Right? They're just sonic vibrations, and that's it. That's if you're an atheist. If, on the other hand, you're any kind of a deist, and certainly a Christian deist, there's enough, certainly in the Christian Bible, to make one think, even for the humblest believer, even for the least believer, the power of words is very important. This is, to me, what the Bible would teach. Not everybody would agree, of course. But this is my current understanding, which is always subject to change, because there's always new data coming in, and that forces one to change one's perspective. But my current perspective is that words from a biblical perspective, put it that way, from a biblical perspective, words are very important. So if you've got the leader, if Joe Biden is the leader of the Western world, and the leader of the Western world comes on television and says there's going to be a fifth wave, you better be careful. If you've got a lot of people suddenly believing that, or you've got some broadcaster on the BBC or CNN, or even some joker on YouTube, like me, who says there's going to be a 10th wave, I think we ought to be careful what we say. You're saying, on what basis do you say, well, there's going to be a third wave? I think that's a very dangerous thing to say, because words, from a Christian perspective, from a deist perspective, words spoken have power. Belief in the heart has power. So if that's what we're doing, and people are saying there's going to be a third wave, then guess what? There could well be, the third wave, I'm just postulating, the third wave that would then come about because everybody believes that a third wave is going to happen. Now, the scientists among you, well, let's do a correlation on that, and how are you going to do that? There's no way to, there's no way to falsify this, there's no way to prove this, suddenly if everybody said on the planet COVID is dead and gone and never coming back, if everybody said that, would that change anything? Or would COVID continue anyway, even in spite everybody says there is no COVID and there is no lockdown? But all I know is what it says in the Bible about words. And the Bible teaches that we can speak to mountains and they will go. So, and then the Bible also teaches that if any two of you shall agree on something, it'll be done. So if you've got the whole planet believing, so if that is a spiritual principle, that any two of you shall agree on anything, if that is a spiritual principle, and at least then two people believe that there's going to be a third, fourth and fifth, and God have mercy on us, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth wave, then if that is a spiritual principle and can be relied upon just as much as the speed of light is reliable, then we've just brought it upon ourselves. If that is a spiritual law, we've just brought. I'm just trying to so that's my view. So therefore we should be speaking to the mountain. Maybe I'm not making much sense. I'm not really a preacher. But at the end of the day, I've read what I've read. And this is my opinion. I say we should be speaking to the mountain of COVID, speaking to the mountain of lockdown and telling it to go and never come back. And we should be saying we do not want a third wave. There is going to be no third wave. Alright? We are going to come out of lockdown on the 19th of July 2021. Now, you can see the date. This is the 3rd of July. I would be very interested in people's comments on this because I don't know anybody that's talking about this. Just one little tiny corner of the internet. I'll be very interested in people's views anyway. So there we go. Thanks for listening. As always, post any comments down below. Thanks for watching.